everyone, and welcome back to another iNick video. I just want to say before we start this video, there will be pictures occasionally up on the screen for you guys to look at to see what I'm talking about. But without further ado, let's get on right in this video. With WWDC kicking off yesterday, Apple has told us many things that are coming to Apple in the Apple world in the next few months. Let me tell you, it is big. I watched it myself and took notes, and here are some of the biggest things that happened, and I'll tell you, because I feel that some people may not watch the WWDC, but still want to know what's coming to Apple in the upcoming months. If you want the real thing, I will put the link in the description for you to watch. It is about an hour and a half, I think, to 2 hours. So it's pretty long, but they have cut it up into chunks of iOS and stuff like that. So let's first get started off with AirPods. As of right now, they have not shown us any new AirPods. Not really a lot of hardware leaks or showing us what hardware is coming in the WWDC, mostly just software updates. So with the new AirPods, they have a new feature. I like to call it movie theater mode, whereas you get surround sound basically all around you. And let's say you're holding your iPad in your hands and you move your head, the sound will kind of fix into the iPad. And if you move your iPad, the sound will follow. It is a really cool feature that I think is only coming to AirPods Pro and not the normal AirPods 1 and AirPods Generation 2. But I think it is a pretty cool feature. And also, let's say you have your AirPods connected to your iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Now let's say I'm listening to music on my iPhone and then decide right away, right after the song ends, to watch a movie on my iPad. The AirPods will automatically switch over from your iPhone to your iPad. And then let's say while I'm watching the movie and my AirPods are playing the sound, I get a phone call. My AirPods will switch back over to my phone so I can take the call without anyone hearing it. So those are the features that are coming to AirPods. Now we are on to iPad OS. Some big things are coming to iPad OS. First, one is the sidebar. So I'm going to use the app Photos as an example. So imagine this. You're in Photos and you want to skip between albums, maybe because you want to see some past photos of a vacation that you just had. You can pull the sidebar out and easily switch between albums. You can also hold a photo in, let's say, all photos, hold it and drag it to an album to easily drag and drop a photo to different albums. This makes it really quick, easy, and fast on how to move photos to different albums. If this does become a thing, I will make a video on how to do it because I feel it is a good feature that you want to have. Also, they made the search bar that doesn't take up the whole screen. So this is good for if you're working and you just need to search up a quick question. There's also many other features coming to iPad OS that's also coming to iOS 14 that I will mention later in this video. So that is what we have that's coming to iPad OS strictly. And now let's move on to the HomeKit. Now HomeKit, people don't use the app Home a lot because it's not that organized, but Apple is making it better this year with it being more organized and having features such as it uses your location and it sees, oh, well, you just arrived at home. If you want to, you can set it up to open up the garage door or turn on lights or turn on the air conditioning. So I feel like this is really cool, and because of Apple's safety policy and privacy policy, it makes this app very safe and all of your information secret, which I feel like maybe other apps are lacking. They're also teaming up with Google and Amazon so that the HomeKit is more capable with those products and many other products as shown up on the screen. So HomeKit, pretty minor update, but still I thought I'd include this in the video. And now Mac OS. So this is actually really big. This year, they are not calling it Mac OS, they're calling it Big Sur. They are guessing that it will take 2 years to transition, but developers can get it sooner. Things that are coming to Big Sur are the sidebar, like I explained in iPad OS. The calendar is getting a new look where you can create new events in just the top left corner of your screen, so it doesn't take up more of your screen. The calendar also looks different, which I personally like. So that's good. I can't wait till that gets an update. There's also a control center, which is kind of like on our iPhones or iPads when you swipe down from the top right, or if you have anything lower than an iPhone X, you can swipe up. That is your control center where you can turn up the volume, brightness, screen record, ringer on, off, all that stuff. So the Mac is getting one of those, which I like. And there's also a notification center. And you might be wondering, what's a notification center? Well, turn on your iPad or iPhone and you see all your notifications. And if you swipe up just a little, you see Notification Center, which is your past notifications from maybe a long time ago. That's what MacBook is getting. So you can easily sort all your notifications in one place. You could get text messages, basically anything that can give you a notification, you will get. They're also adding 3 new apps. One of the newest app works with Microsoft, making Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and more just simpler and smoother to use on the MacBook. I think they're doing this because Apple knows that Microsoft Word and PowerPoint is really strong and it's hard to beat with their Keynote. So I think Apple is also adding this app just so you can use those. It also gives more variety because there's people out there who only really know how to use Microsoft Word, but they might have a MacBook. So Apple wants to draw in all the Microsoft people to MacBook because it adds way more options with design. There's also some more apps coming, but I am not covering that just because I feel that this is the biggest stuff. Now on to probably what all of you guys came for, iOS. iOS 14 is coming out. We do not know when, but soon, by the end of this year, hopefully. There are some really big things coming to iOS. First, let's start off with screen widgets. So you know your widgets thing on your phone where you open up your phone and you swipe from the left to the right and you get those widgets with like TV, photos, and you can personalize them. You can add anything you want. So they're adding this, but every single widget right now is the same size, the same rectangle. This time you can make it bigger or smaller to prioritize the widgets that you want to see the most. And also so that you don't have any widgets left behind, you can make them smaller so that they're still quick and easy to access and they're not right up in your face taking all the room. Next, what we have coming is, well, it's part of widgets, but what you can do is you can take a widget and let's say you hold it and you drop it onto your phone screen, that widget is now on your phone screen. So, for an example, if I take the weather widget, I can hold it and drop it onto my phone screen. And what that does is now when I unlock my phone and I see the phone screen, right there's the weather. I don't have to open the app and I don't have to swipe from the left to the right to see widgets. So I think this is a really cool feature, just trying to get you like that quick, like, oh, what's the weather? Let me just unlock my phone and see it. You can also do it with any widget possible, I'm pretty sure, which I think is really good. There's also this thing called App Library where many of you may have a phone with maybe 7 different home pages and you just don't like scrolling through all those pages to get an app. So what you can do is you can select different home screens. For example, if I had this, I would select just one home screen to have on my phone. I would put all my most used apps there. Then every other app that I have will go into this thing called the App Library, where Apple automatically sorts your apps and puts them into different categories. So this is like a bigger home screen, but it's like a second home screen, but you can fit every app on your phone there. So I think this is really useful just so that you can prioritize the apps that you use most. You can put them on your first page instead of having to swipe through many different home pages to get to an app that you need. So put your most used, I would recommend putting your most used apps on the home page, and then the rest of your apps that you sometimes use, like maybe games or Netflix or anything, that can go in the App Library, which just makes your phone more simpler, I think, which I like a lot. Also, big news coming to Siri. Siri is getting more intelligent with 20 times more the answers. So that's good. And also, now when you activate Siri, it does not take up the whole screen. Now it is just going to be a little circle in the middle of your phone. And let's say you ask it the weather. a little notification type thing will pop down from the top of your screen showing you a picture of the weather. So this is really exciting because I always remember like doing schoolwork or texting someone on my phone and wanting to know how to spell a word, or like what's the answer to a math equation, and Siri would take up my whole screen, so I'd have to like remember what Siri said and then to write it next. Now, because it's not taking up your whole screen, you can see how to spell a word and also type it at the same time. I think this is very useful. Also, now when you get phone calls, it does not take up your whole screen. Apple is doing a good job on making sure that when you're using your phone, you can use it without any interruptions. So now when someone calls you, a little notification type thing will pop down from the top of your screen, showing you who's calling, what app they're calling on, and if you want to accept or decline. I think this is very useful for if you are maybe FaceTiming someone or playing any games, like live games on your phone, and you get a call. You don't want it interrupting your game just in case if you just have to finish it. So this notification will pop down and gives you an option if you want to call or decline. I think this is very useful, just like I said before, and just because it looks more simpler, more neater, which I like. Last but not least, well, not last but not least, but more things that are coming are app clips. What this is it's basically a mini app. So what you do is you need NFC on your Apple phone. And I'm going to give you a scenario to describe it to you. So let's say you're downtown and you want to rent a scooter or a bike to get around town. And you don't have the app, whatever app it needs to rent the scooter or bike. So what you can do is you use your NFC and you put your phone over this thing that displays an NFC, and this app clip pops up. It just is like when you're connecting your AirPods to your phone, a little thing comes from the bottom to the top, doesn't take up your whole phone screen, but it's like a mini pull-up menu. That will show up and it'll give you all the information you need to purchase something with Apple Pay or with whatever app you use to pay. And what it does, it shows you all the information that you need, and it's only 10 megabytes in size. So it won't take up too much of your data if it pops up. So it gives you all the information that you need, and if you still want to download it later, you can in the App Store, but it's basically while you're there, it pops up, and then it goes away. So that's what's coming to the App Store. Also, Maps is getting an update where you have 3D models of buildings in selected cities and bike routes in selected cities. Not any cities in Canada. I think San Francisco, New York, and a few more like Beijing. So that's what's coming to messages. That's what's coming to iOS and Maps. Now we're on to Messages. Messages is getting a very big update. So with 3 more memojis coming, one with a hug, a fist bump, and a blushing memoji, just so you can express yourself more. Also, we have quick reply. So let me explain this to you. It's like you can pin different messages. So let's say if you want to pin your group chat to the top, you pin it, and when you open up messages, it's right there, so it's quick, easy access for maybe an important person or someone who, like, you always need to reply quickly, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, anyone. So you can pin it to the top, so it's always there right when you open up your screen. And next we have, what is, like, I call it a thread. So let's say you're in a group chat and a whole bunch of different conversations are going all sorts of the place, and you want to answer a question that is maybe lost in a big sea of different other text messages. You can now reply to certain text messages. So by typing the person's name and then answering the question. So if the question is like, hey, is anyone free today? And a whole bunch of other messages start talking about random stuff, you can reply with their name and then, yes, I am free today. And you can check just that thread. You can like blank out all the other random text messages and see just that thread so that you can follow just that conversation. Last but not least, I know this is getting very long. Last but not least, we have Watch OS. The new update is called Watch OS 7. It includes bike routes and more fitness apps, a sleep tracker, and a dance tracker where they see your arm movement and your leg movement to give you a precise calculation of how many calories you burn. Also, they have a hand washing tool where the watch detects the sound of water running and your hand movement washing. It gives you a nice bubbly countdown of maybe 30 seconds, and it tells you once you're done washing for 30 seconds, good job. But if you stop too early, then it says keep washing your hands, a polite reminder. And also back to the sleep tracking, tracks your sleep, and it also has an alarm with a, not really an alarm, but it just gives you a little vibrate on the watch, so it gently wakes you up. I'm really excited for what's coming to the near future of Apple. Thank you guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Also, thank you for 50 subscribers. I think we can get maybe to 100 by the end of this year. We'll see. Have a good day.